Hello, everybody, and welcome to webinar number 1 of the Sentinels training course. I certainly want to thank you for your dedication to this work. I want to thank your local education agency's leadership as well, that is your superintendent or your chief executive officer, for nominating you to guide your local education agency through the cybersecurity education program. My name is Emil Ahan-Garzadeh, and I serve as the program administrator, and I'll be your primary contact. As you can see, my contact information is up on the screen, and of course you're welcome to connect with me at any time. Best way to find me is via Twitter, but you can also send me emails if you would like to. So I just want to take a few minutes and talk you through this work. So the Sentinels training program is basically designed to support you as a cybersecurity education specialist at your local education agency to implement this program. One of the things that we've learned over the last many years, actually over a decade of research and information gathering that's been conducted about cybersecurity education awareness impact, is that in order for it to actually make any changes in behavior, you really need to have a body, a human being or two, to ensure that the program is being sustained, that there's energy in it, and that there's a focus on it. As you may have heard in some of the other webinars that we've provided, is that a majority of cybersecurity education programs fail because folks think that it's all about just awareness. It's all about just taking the course, or it's all about watching the PowerPoint or something like that, and it's just not. There's a lot more to it, and that's where you come in. In fact, I can make the argument that you are the cybersecurity education program, and everything else that surrounds it is really just support and resources for you to make the kinds of changes that are going to be necessary at the local ed level. So let's talk a little bit about what your role especially is in this context. So to be clear, we're referring to you as Sentinels. Sentinels basically are the liaisons or the representatives locally, or the cybersecurity education specialists that are going to lead this effort. And your first role is to plan and promote and sustain participation in the Securing the Human course, which is the online security awareness course that your end users are going to be participating in. In addition, you will be engaging in ongoing communication with all of your stakeholders regarding the program and educating them basically regarding local and global cybersecurity events that are occurring on a continuous basis. You'll also be coordinating incentive mechanisms for your school district or your local education agency's employees to both encourage and promote participation, as well as to maintain a focus on a cybersecure culture throughout the year. You'll be serving as a resource for your staff members as well to rely on regarding hygienic behavior when it comes to cybersecurity as related to security matters in general, I should say. And then finally, you will be, as I mentioned earlier, liaising between your agency's leadership, your information technology teams, your human resources or your risk management units, your professional development folks, and of course a K-12 high-speed network in regards to all matters that are associated with this particular program. A quick overview of what to expect as far as time commitment is concerned. So the program is kicking off with this quick 20 to 30 minute webinar here, or recorded webinar, I should say. And this is going to set you up with how to get started with the training course. And then you're going to take the first half of the 2 parts of the Sentinels training course online. It's all asynchronous. There are some assignments involved. There are some quizzes you're going to be answering. But the first half is basically, quizzes you'll be participating in. But the first half is basically you going through what your end users are going to be going through. So we're going to put you in the seat of your end users so you can experience firsthand what it is that their experience is going to be. So they're going to go through a series of 3 modules of content and a 4th one, but which is optional for them but not optional for you. You'll need to go through that 4th one as well. And then once you're done with the Securing the Human course yourself, going through the end user experience, then we're going to have that second 30-minute webinar. And that'll be a live exchange. It'll be basically me and you or your team preparing you to get into the second half of the course. So we'll talk about some expectations, what the goals of the second half are, what the processes are to complete the second half of the training program. And then you go through the second half of the training program, which is the Security Awareness Administrator component of the course, where you're going to learn about developing a communications plan, where you're going to be learning about what actually makes a group of people change behavior, what kinds of triggers and incentives you're going to need to put into place, how you'll be monitoring participation, how to read some of the reports that we'll be sending you from our office so that you can see who is participating, who's not participating, to see what our phishing assessments are all about. As you probably know, we're going to be conducting some phishing as well, just to measure the progress of your organization. Completely safe. Your superintendent has already agreed to do it, but we want to make sure that you can read the reports and make a determination as to what to do based on the data that you receive. And then throughout that second part of the training course, you'll also be providing us with a whole bunch of information to onboard everybody, including rosters that, so that we know who you want to participate in this program. We'll need their email address, first name, last name, the unit that you want to organize them in, and we'll explain all that in the course itself. You'll need to whitelist entire group of IP ranges and domains in order for our phishing system to work, in order for our video content to get through your particular filters. If they are blocked, most of your school districts and local education agencies aren't going to have any problems, but some folks have networks that are really battened down, and so we're going to ask you to make sure you work with your technology teams to make sure everything is whitelisted and so forth. So there's a series of processes that you'll go through to not only learn how to be the Sentinel or how to be the local education specialist when it comes to cybersecurity, but also to onboard you with the program itself. Just a quick point about this matter is that some local education agencies have decided to have more than one Sentinel, more than one representative, which is great. You must have at least one, and you can have up to two. But we do want to make sure that you understand that if you do have more than one, both of you are going to need to complete the training course in its entirety before we can pull the trigger and get the course started. So if your partner hasn't completed the course, we certainly recommend that you please ensure that they complete the course as well. Now, the entire course is delivered through the Canvas Learning Management System. This is both the Securing the Human course, which is for your end users, and the Security Awareness Administrator course. And thanks to our partners at California EdTech Professionals Association, we're able to provide you all with free accounts with the Canvas LMS, which is what the remainder of this recorded webinar is going to be about. We're going to walk you through step by step for how to kind of get started using the Canvas LMS and going through the course content itself. Now, at the end of this webinar, or somewhere between now and the end of this webinar, I'll go ahead and give you instructions for how to get your invitation. But in essence, you're going to get an email from notifications@instructure.com that it's going to invite you to participate in the course itself. And what you're basically going to need to do is go ahead and accept participation through that email and create an account with Canvas, which basically means creating a secure password, hopefully at least 12 characters long in upper and lower case and numbers and special symbols and all that good stuff. You'll need to agree to the terms of the Canvas Learning Management System provider. The instructor has certain terms that you need to agree to, and then you'll need to set your time zone, which of course will be the Pacific time zone. And then once you have created that account, you're going to land on the home page of the course, and I'm going to talk you through that right now. All right, so once you have gone ahead and created that account and everything is in good shape and good order, you're going to land on the home page of this particular course, which looks a lot like what you're looking at right now on the screen. The first thing you want to do at this point is to bookmark this particular website, which is setpa-k20.instructure.com. Just go ahead and bookmark it so that you don't have to go through your email, find a link, try to get back into the LMS. Just bookmark it right now. And of course, as you hopefully all know, it's Control-D on your keyboard is the shortcut, or Command-D on your keyboard on any browser. We'll go ahead and add it to your favorites, your bookmarks, whatever the browser's nomenclature is about favorites. What ends up basically happening is that the next time that you log into the system, this won't be the page that you're going to be seeing. In fact, you're going to be seeing a page that looks like this. So this is called your dashboard, right? And you can see it over here in what's called the global navigation menu. See, when you log back in the next time, you're going to log in with your username, which is your email address that you've enrolled in the program with, as well as the password that you've created, and you'll land right here in your dashboard. And your dashboard basically is going to have a card with the course that you're enrolled in. So in this instance, there's a Securing the Human course, which you're not going to have. You're only going to have this course right over here called Sentinels Training Program. Your end users will have only this course called Securing the Human. And once your end users get started with the program, you'll have both of these cards over here. And basically, these are just cards that allow you to jump into the course that you're interested in. So you're only going to have one card, so you're going to click on Sentinels Training Program. That's going to take you right back to that home page that you saw earlier. So let's talk through what you're seeing here. Again, this is the home page of your Sentinel Training Program. Again, the global navigation menu is staying with you throughout your entire Canvas experience, but in your course, you'll also have a course navigation menu as well, and we're going to talk through all of this in a second. So you'll notice, first of all, there's a nice little short 2-minute introductory video that kind of welcomes you to the course and gives you a couple of ins and outs tips. You'll also notice that my Twitter handle is linked here down below. As I mentioned, Twitter is the best way to get a hold of me if you want to try to find me. Then you'll also notice that you have these quick links over here. These quick links are basically links to a number of resources as well as the course index, and we're going to go through them one by one. So first of all users, Sentinels and the end users, are going to have access to a series of podcasts that we were producing. They'll be coming out at least 2 episodes a month, and of course we've just got started, so right now there are only 2 episodes here. And so you can take a listen, I should say, to podcasts. If you're anything like me and you have a long commute, I do a lot of podcasts. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. And we'll put in some good information in there for you. Hopefully you'll subscribe to that. Back on the home page, we're also providing a series of webinars. And so when you click on the webinars quick link, it'll take you to the tapped webinar registration page. And so as you can see, we've archived an introductory webinar that we provided throughout the month of January 2017 about what exactly the cybersecurity education program is, and we've got our next webinar coming up. We've got one scheduled for the 27th where you can simply click the register button and learn all about securing your home network. We also have a security blog, a cybersecurity blog, I should say, and it's really more about tips, if you will. Just every day or two, we're going to put up some reminders, some good hygienic tips for you and your end users to just remind yourself of. Like, for example, plugins. A lot of people forget that plugins are little mini apps that run on your machine, and more malware is coming onto our systems. I shouldn't say malware, some malware, but adware and bloatware is being added into your browser and your system because you're turning on plugins or extensions and add-ons and things of that nature. So we have this nice little tips blog for you, and of course we also have our own Twitter feed as well, Tapped Security. And if you're a Twitter user, we certainly hope that you will follow us, but you don't have to be a Twitter user to access this resource. You don't have to be logged in. You don't have to have an account. This is a public Twitter feed, and you can come through and take a look at all the news and stuff that's happening in the world of cybersecurity. Now, most importantly is this list of lessons button down over here. So first, before we click on it, I want to just point out that the list of lessons quick link takes you to the exact same place that this modules quick link is going to take you to. See, so modules and list of lessons, same thing. So let's go ahead and click on list of lessons. And once you click on that, it's going to change up for you and pull up the index of all of the lessons. And as you can see, all of the lessons in this program are provided for you on this index, which you can, of course, take a look at the organization here. They're all chunked. So here's one module, module 1, start here. Then there's module 0, I should say. It says introduction, which is an optional module. You can collapse these modules if you want. You can extend these modules if you'd like to. And you'll notice that these modules have prerequisites. Not all of them do, but several of them have prerequisites. So for example, in order to engage in module 0, you will need to complete the prerequisite, which is to complete the Start Here module. So to access this, you'll need to complete this right over here. You see, so how do you complete this? Well, you see that in this Start Here module, you have 3 components, which could be quizzes, lessons, announcements, a whole bunch of different types of things. And then you got these little radio buttons on the side. Once you complete it, there'll be a green check mark there. So how do I complete my first one? It says Cybersecurity Pledge. It's worth 100 points, and I have to score at least 100 points. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the Cybersecurity Pledge, and the window is going to pop up and says, okay, hey, you know what? You're going to need to pledge that you're committed to this kind of stuff. So what do? You read the pledge and then type I'm committed in the field. And you get started by clicking the blue Take the Survey button. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that right now. The pledge is going to pop up for me. I'm going to go ahead and read through the pledge over here. Then at the very bottom, I'm going to type in I'm committed. Then I'm going to go ahead and submit, where it says submit quiz. Instructions are provided. Click the submit quiz button. So I click that, and I am done. So now here I am back on the instructions page, and I can see that I got the 100 points that I wanted. So how do I get back to that list of lessons? Well, if you recall, as I mentioned, the modules link is always going to take you to that list of lessons. So you just go ahead and click on that modules link. It's going to pull open the list of lessons as well. So as you can see, I've completed my first component. Now look, I got my green check mark over here. And now I can see that I have this next one over here that says media whitelisting. So there's 100 points involved in here, but this time all I got to do is submit something. I don't have to actually score anything. So go ahead and click on the media whitelisting page, and a quick little assignment pops up. And this assignment is basically saying, hey, listen, our video content is served up through Amazon CloudFront. And even though most school districts and local ed agencies are not going to have a problem, the filtering isn't going to prevent these things from getting through to your end users, just in case, we're asking you to kindly whitelist these domains and these IP addresses, and a couple of domains down here at the bottom as well. So all you got to do is just make sure that you work with your local education agency's technology department, your network analyst, engineer, technician, to go ahead and make sure that your filtering system has whitelisted these particular domains and IP addresses. And you simply, once you've got confirmation that that's the case, you click the blue submit button at the very top and say done. That's all you have to do. You see, we have instructions. It says once IT department has confirmed the domains and IP addresses are whitelisted, click the submit assignment button, and then just type in the word done. So you click on done, click submit assignment, and as you'll see, it'll take you right back and say, okay, you're finito. Fantastic. You're turned in. Everything's good. So how do we get back to the index of lessons? Modules. Always click the modules link. It'll take you right back to the modules link. Okay, so you would think that this module 0 would be open now, but it's not, because again, my prerequisite is to complete the Start Here module. And I've done part 1 and part 2. Now I got to do part 3. And part 3 is called Getting Going, and all I got to do is view it. So I just go ahead and click on it. We have a short little video here for you Sentinels. We recommend you take some time and check it out. You view this page, then you can go right back to the modules if you want to, or you can use the next and previous navigation buttons at the bottom, and boom, you can see the next 2 modules are open for you. The introduction module, which basically orients you to how to use the Canvas system, as well as the first module associated with the Securing the Human course. But you'll see the second module is still locked up because you, in order to access it, you need to complete the core curriculum module. Okay, so let's take a few moments here and take a look at what's available for you in the introduction module. Basically, there's some very short little infographics. They're interactive, where you can learn about the terminology associated with the Canvas LMS. We want to make sure that you know how to use the system, or your end users do. There's some blurb down here about what modules are, why we've sequenced these modules in most cases. And again, as I mentioned, you also have these navigation bars at the bottom if you'd like to go through the entire course in sequence. So I'll go ahead and click the next button, which will take me to the next component, which is basically just some content that provides you with some more information about how to access the system. Much of this stuff you already know, and it's pretty simple, but we're providing this for you and, of course, your end users, so they have a better resource, or a resource to be able to understand how to use the system. So I click on the next button, takes me to the next page. If you've attended any of our webinars, you know that we are also providing badges for completing components of this program, and this particular page talks your users and yourself through exactly how that process works and what you need to do to earn your badges and how the badging system works. You click on next, and it brings us to some additional resources as well. That'll give you the breakdown of some other resources that, if you're interested, you can access to learn more about the Canvas LMS. Incidentally, notice in the course navigation menu, there's a badges page. And so when you click on the badges page, it's going to populate a page that tells you, here are all the badges that you have access to. You can certainly click on any one of them. It'll tell you a little bit more about exactly what that badge is, how you earn it, and what you can do with it. There's also a leaderboard. If you click on the leaderboard, you can see all the people that have already attained a badge or two. In this case, not a whole heck of a lot of people. Oh, look at this. No, actually a lot of people have already attained some badges. So the students are given, they're anonymized, if you will. So there is some information that represents who these folks are. And so you can see who's gotten how many badges and which badges we're talking about. So back to the modules. Now that we've completed the optional module, now we go ahead and get started with the first module in the Securing the Human course. Simply go ahead and click on the first lesson, loads up the video, and you go through and you watch the video. And then at the end of the video, some questions, as you hopefully know by now.
Welcome to Cyber.
You need to complete 4 out of 5 questions or 5 out of 5 questions in order to pass the particular lesson. And the quiz will populate in this window automatically. There isn't another place to go to. The quiz populates as soon as the video itself is done. If you pass, great. If you don't pass, you just start over again, and you can take these quizzes as many times as you want to. And that's pretty much all it takes to get through the first series of courses, or at least, the first series of modules. The first half, again, is the first 4 modules, which brings you through, but wait, there's more. This is that optional module that your end users can take if they want to, but you'll have to take. And again, to access it, you'll need to complete Module 3, which is the module right before it. Now, at the bottom of that 4th module, there'll be a lesson over here that says Scheduling Webinar Number 2. So once you're done with all of these lessons, there's instructions here for how to get a hold of us at K-12 High Speed Network to set you up with the second of 3 webinars that will basically set you up with a quick little meeting wherein we can talk about your expectations and protocols associated with the bottom half of your training course, which is to complete another series of modules, at the end of which your district will be ready to go, and you can start accessing the your end users can start accessing the course content itself. And I do want to just point out a couple of things to you as far as next steps are concerned. What you'll need to do is go ahead and send me an email address, and I'll put my email address on the screen here if you don't already have it. Go ahead and send me an email saying, hey, Emil, just finished watching the first of 3 webinars, good to go. And as soon as I get that email from you, I'll go ahead and enroll you in the Canvas Learning Management System, at which point you'll get an email from notifications@instructure.com that'll get you started so you can go through exactly what it is that we talked about. So again, send me an email right now and tell me that you are done watching this first recorded webinar. Once you are done with the entire program, with the entire 10 modules, then the next steps will be to work with your superintendent to send out a blast to all participating users. They've already agreed to this as part of the pledge, to announce that, yes, your local education agency is working in collaboration with K-12 High Speed Network to engage in a cybersecurity education program. Once he or she has sent that out, then we will send all of your participating users an email welcoming them to the program as well, making sure that they all know who you are as a Sentinel and what your role is and how they can get a hold of you. And we'll give them a quick 2-3 minute video that explains to them what the program is and how they're going to get started. So in the video, step-by-step instructions for all of the stuff that you and I just covered. But we give it to them in a nice, cute little animated video. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of your first of 3 webinars. Now it's time to just send me an email letting me know that you are done watching this webinar, and we'll go ahead and send you the invitation. You can go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for your work and your dedication. I think you're going to find this to be a rewarding experience. I think your end users are certainly going to appreciate what it is that your local education agency is doing to make both them, your organization, your students, your stakeholders safer as we traverse this digital world that we all live in. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy.